let's turn these 3 animated movie posters into horror, starting with Turning Red. First thing first, let's import the original poster. Then I'm gonna extend the poster and get rid of all the text. Now I need to get rid of these arms, because the plan for this poster is to turn this red panda into a beast out for tomato sauce. So I'm importing another head and cutting it out using Select Subject and the polygonal lasso tool. Then I'm gonna duplicate it, flip it, and blend it with the other part in order to complete the head. All that's left to do is cover up the badge, the edges, and the arms themselves. While I'm at it, I'm also painting a nice shadow to separate the head and the body, because right now she looks like Bob. Anyways, we're gonna need arms. So I'm cutting one out from another poster, placing it properly, and adding shadows. But I have a plan for the other one. So I'm cutting out 2 different parts from 2 screen grabs of the movie and assembling them into an actual arm. An arm ready to hold the kid. Let's puppet warp the kid into position before slicing her in half. Now I'm just gonna paint a red circle for that 3D effect. And since you guys seem to have enjoyed it in the last video, I'm adding some nice guts coming out. Obviously they need some shadows, some tomato sauce, and a little dripping. But she looks a little too happy. Let's liquefy her mouth a little bit. Now I'm raising her pupil and painting in some smaller ones to make her look scared. This red panda looks really friendly, and that's unacceptable. So I'm cutting his mouth out and puppet warping it wide open. We just gotta fill the gap here. And now I'm gonna give him a nice, pointy, menacing set of teeth. But they look really flat, so let's do some. And it would be a shame if the eyes didn't match such a scary set of teeth. So I'm cutting these out and sliding them on top of the original ones. And for some reason, the pink bag is really bothering me. I'm just gonna make it green so that it matches the kid.
Nice job, team.
With the bag out of the way, I think it's finally time. Things are always scarier at night, so we need to make this dark and blue, but we need to get rid of the clouds using content-aware fill and add a nice full moon. This way we can pretend that this red panda works in a similar way to werewolves. Obviously, the moonlight should reflect on our characters. And why not light up the windows in the entire city? And all that's missing is a title. And I'm gonna modify it to say Turning Dead instead. And as it turns out, it looks better on the moon. Our second poster is the Minions. I'm gonna start by importing the Spanish version of the poster. Now I can remove the text and extend the poster. The idea for this one is to zombify this poor minion. First step to doing this is importing a 3D cat eye and then removing the pupil using content-aware fill. I'll duplicate the original pupil, put it on top and make it red. Now I'm gonna use a solid shape to mask the eye inside the goggles. And obviously we need to paint shadows all around it. But it looks like the glass is gone, so let's add a broken glass texture on top and paint in some reflections. The goggles can't look this clean, so I'm gonna add the damage texture, followed by a nice scratch metal texture, and top it all off with some rust. Perfect, now I can list this as excellent condition on Facebook Marketplace. I'm gonna use bevel and emboss to accentuate the volume of the goggles, but also paint in some shadows and highlights. Now we can give the same treatment to the leather band on each side and paint a drop shadow under this whole thing. It doesn't look like a zombie just yet, so let's paint the skin green. And now we can add a photo of a rotten fruit for a little bit of texture. I also got this stitch skin texture from the internet, so I'm gonna mask it following the stitches. And for the other side, I can just apply some regular skin texture. Oh, and by the way, you should probably subscribe or I'll turn you into a zombie. There's something missing. Minions are always wearing this jean jumpsuit sort of thing, so let's steal one. Now I'll add some rips on the fabric to make it look more worn out. She still looks a little healthy for my taste, so let's add some nice ones and blend them in. We're still missing a little bit of tomato sauce for it to look disgusting. Finally, I'm gonna add a title, and I took the liberty to rename it Zombians. It's a mix between zombies and minions. Anyways, here is the horror version of the Minions. Our last poster is Dogman, and this one was actually requested by a bunch of you guys. So the first step is cutting out the policeman body and the operating table from a screenshot of the movie. Then I'm cutting out the dog's head as well and warping it into place. And I'm just gonna paint a temporary background because this empty Photoshop canvas is really stressing me out. Anyways, there's a part of the operating table missing, so I'm painting it real quick. And now we need to cut the nurse out using select subject, and I'll just get her hat from another image. The nurse is gonna need legs though. And while I'm painting stuff, why not add a neck connecting the body and the head, but also some stitches for good measure. Now, the sharpest among you might have noticed that the nurse is still missing a hand, so I'm giving her a new one. But she's gonna need some tools to choose from, so let's paint a nice range of instruments behind her. This whole thing is lacking texture, so I'll apply some on the wall, but also the ground. And since it's still way too bright, let's add a nice gradient, but also some ominous red light coming from the side. But it's finally time for the nurse to choose, and it looks like she went for the hammer. Which means Dogman is gonna need some stitches. So I'm erasing his eyes and eyebrows before painting in a separation with stitches, followed by a Frankenstein-style nail through the head. For the eyes, I'm painting some nice round shapes and giving them irises. I'm also going around with the fur brush to blend them in. But I think it would be scarier if we gave him the Nemo treatment.
Flashback.
But don't worry, he still got his eye, it just popped out of his skull. So I'm moving the eye down and painting some connective nerves in there. And finally, I'm renaming this movie Frankenstein. If you enjoyed this video, I'm sure you'll love watching this one, where I turn Disney movies into horror.